What's up, you guys? So in today's video, we're going over 3 essential Vanguard ETFs that you should buy in 2019. So Warren Buffett says that you should put 90% of your money in an S&P 500 index fund. If one of the richest, smartest, and most successful investors in the world says that, then that's the advice that I'm going to follow. The vast majority of actively managed funds actually underperform the indexes that they benchmark their performance to. They do this while charging really high fees that really dig into your profits. No. So that is why I recommend investing your money in low-cost index funds that you can buy on Vanguard. And Vanguard is probably one of the cheapest and most reliable investment platforms on the market. The one thing that you should not do, in my opinion, is hire someone to invest your money for you. Lots, I'm not saying all, but many of these managers will put your money in these high-cost funds that pay them a commission. Yes, many of these funds are very good, but that doesn't really matter if you're paying them a really high percentage of your earnings. Instead, watch this video and pick 1, 2, or 3, all these funds to invest in yourself. These are the bread and butter ETFs that you can buy from Vanguard. The first Vanguard ETF that I recommend is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, also known as VOO. This is one of their most popular ETFs because it tracks 500 of the largest companies in the United States. The fund currently has a market value of about $460 billion, which is just insanely big. When you buy VOO, you're basically investing in companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and Facebook. These are all big companies that many people are familiar with. As of right now, the expense ratio for the VOO ETF is just 0.03%. This means that if you're investing $10,000 into this ETF, the first year you're only going to pay $3 in fees. Now, since its inception in 2010, this fund has gained approximately 14.11% per year, pretty much the same as the S&P 500 index. In terms of risk, it's a 4 out of 5. There are no bonds, and all these are large, established companies. So this is appropriate for long-term growth where you want your money to grow rapidly. The reason why it's a 4 out of 5 on the risk scale is because it's not as diversified as it may seem like. Sure, you're investing in 500 of the companies, but this is largely correlated with the US economy. So if the US economy goes down, so will your portfolio value. Don't be surprised to see your portfolio go down, as much as 20, 30% some years. It's happened in the past, and it's probably going to happen again, but it's a very good way to grow money in the long term. The second Vanguard ETF that you should buy is the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, also known as VTI. This ETF is made up of about 3,600 companies. So obviously that's a lot more companies than the S&P 500 ETF. So by buying in this fund, you're investing in large companies, medium companies, as well as small companies in the US. Its current market value is about $770 billion. As of right now, the expense ratio on the VTI ETF is 0.03%, so the same as the S&P 500 ETF. Since its inception in 2001, this ETF has gained about 7.11% per year. In terms of risk, this is also a 4 out of 5. It's only US companies, so you're solely investing in the US economy. The difference between this and the S&P 500 fund is that this fund also has a ton of medium-sized and small companies. However, it is market weighted, so those large companies still heavily influence this fund. The third Vanguard ETF that many people buy is the Vanguard Total International Stock ETF, also known as VXUS. This ETF is a collection of over 6,000 international and global stocks. Its current market value is $370 billion. And the expense ratio as of right now is 0.09%. Since its inception in 2011, the stock has gained 3.45% per year. Obviously, that's not as good as the US ETFs that we just went over, but that's because the international stock market has been struggling in the recent years. American companies have done really well, so that's why the returns for those US-based ETFs is much better. The risk for this ETF is a 5 out of 5, and that's because, like I said before, the international stock market has not been doing too well lately. The reason why people buy this fund is because it kind of diversifies their investment. If the US economy drops a lot, then they won't be as affected. Vanguard has a ton of ETFs that you can purchase, but if you're just getting started or you're looking for a very reliable ETF to buy, I would just go with one of the 3 I just went over. If you want to choose just one, I would say go with VOO or VTI. You should buy these domestic ETFs right now, and then later on, what you can do is diversify your investments by buying international stock ETFs, bonds, high dividend ETFs, and the list goes on. So if there's anything you guys have learned from this video, it's that you should buy low-cost funds. That is the main priority of this video. It doesn't matter if you choose to go with someone like Vanguard or Charles Schwab, Fidelity. There are tons of other great brokerages out there, but the main thing is you want to stick with low-cost funds because the high fees of those high-cost funds, they're really going to eat into your profits. 1 to 2% of fees per year doesn't seem like that much right now, but it really compounds over time. And if you are paying those fees over 30 years, that's going to be a ton of money wasted. Happy investing. I'll see you guys in the next video.